Má không có thích đi đóng phim. Không có ý đi đóng phim.
Thì mình biết là hãng phim Mỹ thì phải cũng có người đạo diễn rồi đó kia thôi chứ còn không nhận ra. Nếu mà gặp ổng thì mình nói tôi biết là ông là tôi đặc biệt.
What's going on, world? It's your boy KUYA P. This is Nerds Rule the World, and today I'm so excited, so delighted to show love to a fellow filmmaker. She's a brilliant writer. I'm gonna have all of her links in the description below, but she is sharing her parents' story about being Vietnam refugees in a new short film called We Were the Scenery. She's fresh off the heels of the Black Star Film Festival in Philly. She's gonna have many other places where she's gonna be screening this. I'm gonna have the links in the description so you can check it out. But you see her on the screen right now. You want me to stop talking. You want to hear from her. I have the wonderful Cathy Linh, who's the producer and writer on We Were the Scenery. How are you, Cathy?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me. And for anybody who's out there, thank you so much for listening in and watching.
Definitely. So, Cathy, we're talking it up. I have all your links. They're going to be there for the people because I want them to go and support this film. This hit me in so many levels as an Asian American, as second generation, as an actor, as a filmmaker. There's so many nuances in this film. You growing up as the daughter of these two amazing people, and that went through this experience. Can you tell me, or maybe relive a little bit when you were first told this story, and then how that maybe might have changed you as a person to then now eventually decide to adapt that into this project that we have now?
Yeah, thank you so much. So my name is Cathy, and I grew up in LA as a daughter of two Vietnam War refugees. They would sit around the dinner table and tell me all about their lives. And one of the stories that I'd heard a lot growing up was that when they were refugees, they escaped from the war, or after the end of the war, they escaped from Vietnam on a boat, ended up in the Philippines. And from there, they were used as extras in the filming of Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now, which is, as a child, I didn't know what even the word apocalypse meant. My dad kept being like, "Oh, do you know what Apocalypse Now is?" I'm like, "No, I do not." However, they would then just launch into this amazing story that I always loved hearing about the different ways that just their lives during the refugee camp experience and their lives during that filming. As an adult, I realized that this is an important story because so much of the Vietnam War, and so many war stories in general, are told from not the perspective of people who are being bombed, who are being, and it's not as simple as that, but that was the truth for my mother. Definitely, she never took up arms, right? She just had to escape things. And so it felt more urgent as I grew up and was looking around for me or my parents in media and film and radio and newspapers and books. And when I wasn't seeing their experiences represented, I just really wanted to be able to present that because, all of these political decisions, they're about everyday lives. And so I wanted to present that. But this film is also surprising in many ways because it's not what you expect necessarily, where it's just, here is the story of people who've been exploited or traumatized in some way, because my parents have their own spin on things. They don't feel exploited. They don't feel traumatized. But I can put that layer on it as a second generation person. But for them, they're very practical. So it's really important, I think, also to acknowledge that there's differences intergenerationally, and there's also differences in terms of our expectations of what it would mean to play an extra on this Vietnam War film, having just escaped a war. And also to understand that people who have lived through something very traumatic, it doesn't mean you're traumatized forever. You still have birthdays, you still have laughter, you still have joy. So that is something that I really care about, because it's a film that is in many ways hopeful. I think it's about um, it's about what it means to be 50 years after the end of the Vietnam War and to show what your life has been.
Yes, 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 yes. Completely agree. And I'm so thankful. And I'm sure a lot of people are thankful for adding that to the AAPI experience that, again, it's not out there in the media as much as we would like. And we know how things are portrayed. I won't get into politics because, I can do that sometimes, but we won't do that here. But I think we're on the same page with that. And yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank your parents for sharing this experience, because we need that nuance. So we need to see the whole picture. And yeah, I can only imagine filming this with them. So you've heard this story. And so, okay, now you decide to turn this into a film. You're a writer, Cathy. I've
Mhm.
seen you're an award-winning writer, amazing writer.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
have you ever made a film? So we decided to do this. How do we now turn it into a film? And what was that experience like? And then getting them to open up, because I've tried to put my parents on camera so much and it's so difficult. And I'm sure it was for you in maybe some ways. I don't know. Or maybe they're readily available and okay to speak out. Can you tell me that? So like from like the decision to turn it into a film, and then now getting into pre-pro, making it happen and getting all the talent together, well, the crew together to speak with your family.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that. So I've been pursuing this story for like 10 years. I went to Vietnam, the Philippines, the site of, where my parents escaped. I went to the refugee camp where they lived. I went to the site of the filming of Apocalypse Now. And this was for a poetry collection that is out this year. It's called Becoming Ghost, and it is about them being extras in Apocalypse Now, but it's also about the complications of family. How do you represent a story that you didn't live yourself,
Mm,
but it's part of your life. It's part of who you
yeah.
are. So the film happened because I met a filmmaker during, his name's Christopher Radcliff, during an artist residency that my friend was at. So I was just visiting my friend, and it was in Shanghai in China. It's called the Swatch Art Piece Hotel Residency, and they were neighbors. And so when we all went out to dinner one night, I told Chris, who's a filmmaker, about the story. He's like, "Have you considered making a film about this?" And I said, I thought of this as being multimodal. I thought of doing performance, poetry, prose, film stills, collages, other sorts of media, but I don't have a background in film. This is my first film. So I told him, no, I haven't considered it. This is 2018. I had not considered it, and I don't have the skills. I can't edit film. He's like, but I can. I can help you if you would like. So it's ultimately through collaboration, because I have the deep knowledge of the story and all this research, and he has all the filmmaking skills. And I am also a writer, so I have a deep sense of the story as a writer and what it means. And as a Vietnamese person, he's biracial Chinese American. So I also have the language access. And then we brought on my friend who's a poet and also a filmmaker and also a muralist, Jess Snow, to help us with cinematography and producing. So the three of us are basically the core of the project. It's a project now that's just between three artists who are friends who have very strong skills in different areas, coming together to tell a story that is ultimately important, because Apocalypse Now has taken up the American imagination of what the Vietnam War means.
Yeah.
And so this is a kind of adding to that archive, right? It's a restorative archive. These are voices that should have been there from the beginning, right? Because they've
Yeah,
always
let's go.
been there, right? But it's an opportunity 50 years later to add their voices to this conversation because Apocalypse Now in film, it's a very storied film. Like people talk about it, people study it. People study it not only in film classes,
Hmm.
but also they study in Vietnam War studies. People watch it and they think that's what the war looks like. And my parents are presenting additionally what the war also looks like and the life after war. So I really think it's so important to think of, after the headlines are gone, what is the afterlife of war? Because it's not, again, it's not just traumatic. You actually have a have lives, like full lives, full Vietnamese people that aren't flattened by just sort of the interest of media in only presenting people as victims.
Completely agree. And I love that. And I'm thankful that you and your family shared this personal story that is going to be uh help challenge the notion and help educate even further and give a whole rounded picture of what we need to know. And so I'm going to highly recommend it to all my fellow critics that speak glowingly about this film. But I'm like, well, there's because a lot of them are white critics, and shout out to my fellow white critics and friends. And
Yeah, of
what
course.
they ask me for my AAPI experience and what I think of it.
Mhm.
And now I can refer to this, and I will be doing so. And thank you for that because I think the whole picture needs to be seen. So shout out. Oh, also to your fellow crew, Radcliff and the your other friend that helped
Yeah,
out.
Jess X Snow and
Yeah,
Christopher Radcliff, and just shout out to the whole crew, Haina, Zhou, who did the sound, Mackie Mallison, who did extra sound design. We have you know, Elliot Lee, who did the music, and Nguyen-Le, who did the recording. So there's just a whole crew, right? Sue Kim is our executive producer. We just have a wonderful crew of people. Stephanie Park, who did the color. It's a small crew, but everybody's important. It's a collaborative art. And then my parents, of course. I
yeah.
didn't answer that part. This film would not exist if they didn't say yes to participating. And I will say my dad wasn't sure about participating. He said yes, and then he saw the film stuff. He's like, "Oh, what is this? I have nothing to say." And as soon as we turned the camera on, we actually ran out of battery.
You became a chatty Cathy.
He's a chatty Cathy. From from the time we turned on the camera until we ran out of battery, he did not stop. He didn't stop. He would have kept going. It was an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Shout out to your parents and shout out to our set family. I always say, as a film actor filmmaker, it takes a village. A lot of like
Definitely, none
your
of
main
us do
stars
it
get
on
the
our
pick,
own.
but it really takes a whole village. So we are so thankful for our set families.
One last shout out is my family in Vietnam because my
Mm.
auntie really, when I told her we were gonna film, she's like, "Okay, what do you need from me?" I was like, "We need three motorbikes. We're gonna go across three bridges." So it was me, Jess, and Chris. One person has the digital camera, one person has the Super 8, one person's holding the sound, the sound device. I know there's an official term, but I'm not, I'm studying
All
it.
good.
And we're running across bridges with, her husband, her son, which is my cousin. So, just like they were just very open and down to be supportive. So all kinds of folks along the way too.
I love that. Shout out to everyone that helped out. We love you guys because we couldn't do it without you.
Sure.
All right, so we're in production. We're making this happen. You have your chatty Cathy dad,
Ah,
and he's going off. I love how this was put together. We talk about how it came to be, and then we go into them, with the footage of the film and their anecdotes. And I loved how he's talking about Coppola and eating mangoes without peeling them. Just everything. And also, again, from their perspective, like you said earlier, in regards to that they didn't feel disenfranchised or that they were used, but there's a whole interesting picture in regards to that participation and how they became involved, but then looking back at it, like you said. So can you tell me about capturing those pieces and having that be in there, and just that importance of, and I love the title, by the way, We Were the Scenery. That's so profound in so many ways. Can you again talk about like making it happen and putting all this this film together in the various locations that you did?
Yeah, so one is that we really wanted to include all that complexity. Like, were they exploited? Were they not exploited? My mom in the film says, we didn't have a choice, but we all wanted to go. Who wouldn't want to go?
Yeah.
Because they were bored in the refugee camp, and this is a chance for them to get paid. And they're, like I said, my parents are practical people in life, because you probably need to be practical when you're just surviving on some level. Yeah, so I think that we wanted to have it's not one simple way to think about it or see it or feel about it, because it's not simple for them, right? So that's one aspect. The title is, we were in a van from one end of the Philippines, Luzon, to the other. So we were going from Manila, or the refugee camp is outside of Manila, 30 minutes. It's Mandaluyong. We were in a van going all the way across to get to Belair, which is a surf town. That's where the surf scene from Apocalypse Now was filmed. So on the way there, we were brainstorming titles because we had no title. And then I said, well, to translate, you can translate it numerous ways, but to translate I was an extra, in Vietnamese, it's not an extra. You're not extraneous. You're actually, it sounds more like greenery or scenery or something. So I had written a poem where I translated something my mom said about, oh, I was an extra. And I wrote, I was the scenery. And then I told them that. They're like, oh, what about we were the scenery? And like, I think that's good because it's past tense. We were that. But now I think the film is about making them the center and making them the stars, and also making my dad the director. Like, he has this amazing home video archive that is very beautiful. I think in many ways, he's a filmmaker in his own right. He didn't have aspirations to become a famous filmmaker. He just wanted to record his family, right? He had a different purpose, but he was very technically advanced in terms of being somebody who loved cameras and always like could go in and figure out how to make them beautiful. So there is footage that centers my family and also is created by my family in this film as a counterpoint to be like, this is our own art making. Making a family is a kind of art making too.
Oh yeah,
I don't think people think of that. And
completely.
people don't think of someone like my parents as artists, but they're storytelling. I mean, you're a writer, you're an artist too. So I think that there's something really important to me about that.
Definitely. It hit me on so many levels. The just I started off as a background actor, as
Mm,
an Asian American, right?
mm,
Wanting to be a main star, but there's not a lot of roles for
wow.
us. So when
Yes.
that part hit, because you just feel when that's all that you can get, all that you can get.
Hmm.
Oh, it spoke to me. And
Yeah.
then the aspect of you including him with your family films. I'm raising a daughter right now.
Oh,
It
wow.
just was so, it was everything to me, Kathy. So thank you
So
for that.
moving.
And
To think
him,
about, you all, because what you're doing now with this podcast, with this space, it is, a space of power because you get to determine who you have conversations with and you get to make these amazing conversations. So I think that there's plenty of spaces of power that we already have, but people convince you don't, because the larger schematic, the larger power structure, money and weapons tell you don't have power, but that's not true. We're many and we are all powerful.
you are absolutely right. That is why I do this. And thank you
Yeah,
for being here with me on this journey, Kathy.
thank you. Thank you for
Definitely.
having me. So the other thing about the film that I really want to highlight is just the way that my parents were so they were helped along. They had this epic journey, but it wasn't on their own. Like they have this amazing story about the people they escaped by boat. So along the way, they met a variety of Filipino fishermen who always helped them out. They gave them water, they gave them food. And when it's when you're down and out, like how meaningful is that?
All the love, Kathy. All the love. Oh, as soon as I heard that part when they arrived to the Philippines, when they were
Hmm.
talking about the experience and then the food, because as
Yes,
Filipinos, that's where we get quite a bit. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's just
yes.
like certain moments that made me smile and
Oh,
laugh.
good,
It was
good. I'm
just, oh,
glad.
it hit me. It hit me.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm so glad.
definitely. And so as you were doing this and putting the edit together and you're learning this experience with your team, um, were you laughing? Because there's just like subtle things that your dad does, like when again the mango thing, the just his feelings about Apocalypse Now. It's like all right, but it again like it didn't experience, so it was just like oh my gosh, it was truths that I was just loving coming out of the mouth of an Asian man, and it began because of our Asian representation in cinema. Again, this film just is on so many levels that I can completely relate to.
I mean, I love what you're saying about how truthful they are because my parents, because they're very comfortable in front of a camera for whatever reason. You can tell they're not really shy about being in front of the camera. Maybe it's because my dad had been doing home videos for so long, who knows? But they're very honest. They're very honest. They're not thinking about the audience. And in some ways, it's because they're talking to me. I'm behind the
Mm.
camera, I'm chatting, and it's like talking to somebody right? It's like that intimate space where you get to gossip and nobody's going to judge you for it. That is what we're hearing. They're talking to each other. So it has that real intimacy. It also has their takes, and their takes are really funny, I think. And so for me, I knew anytime he said something that was I was like, oh, that's gold. Like because I'm a poet, so when a line is really good. If
It
someone
hits.
says something and it hits, you're like, oh, that's a keeper. So on some levels, during this interview, what we did is we just like I transcribed everything from English into Vietnamese, and I listened and I was listening closely, and there were things that would just I was like, oh, that we have to share that, that's gold. And some things went on, the mango scene, where they talk about that. I've heard that 1,000 times, but that time it just went on and on. They just kept going. I was like, oh my God, this is gold. And me and Quyên, we were laughing because, we weren't laughing out loud because you don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt. We were laughing so hard. And it was so funny because at that moment, my cousin was in the house and he had gone in and he turned on the shower. We're like, oh no, like, is this gonna enter in? But
Yeah.
people can clean up sound very nicely. So it was the dangers of filming at home when people need to live their lives.
Yeah.
Um, but all it's to say is, yes, there was a lot of laughter on set. There was
Love that.
also a lot of, joy, and there was just realness. Like my dad, at a certain point, he's like, usually at this time I'm sleeping. We didn't make it in this version. We have a longer version where we put it in there. It's a 28-minute 3-channel video installation version.
Oh,
So we
okay.
got in all kinds of footage, a little bit more story, and a little bit different story because after we made that, I went and recorded more interview.
Oh,
So
wow.
this has things that the other one doesn't have. The other one has things this one doesn't have. So it
Amazing.
just, I love having so many genres and possibilities and versions of the same story. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to other people. It means a lot to film history. It's like
Yes.
parents and family, they're very humble, but it's an important piece of film history. Asian people, AAPI people, Vietnamese people were not really, they were always on the margins. They were erased. They were put as extras. So it's a specific film, but it symbolizes more than just my family's story. It
Completely.
symbolically talks about all the ways that people have been put in the background who really should be the center of the story.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't create enough content to show our experience. I don't think I'll never stop while I'm alive. And I am thankful for you as well for doing this and giving us this content. I love it. You recently premiered at Black Star Film Festival. As we talked earlier, you have a screening tonight as of this recording. And now what you just told me, there's an even longer version that is available. Can we talk about, now that it's we're in post, we're touring with the film, just how you want to deliver the message and bring the story to everyone, and what this experience been like, post the project, and we're getting it out there.
It's been very gratifying. So we are currently part of the Sundance Short Film Tour. And so right now, if you go on the Sundance website or if you go on our website, you'll see dates upcoming for the Sundance Shorts Tour. It's 7 different films. We're the only documentary in that set. And so far it's been playing across 30 different cities, but by the end it'll be 70 to 80 cities, so look out for that, a city near
Wow.
you. And yeah, so that is, we're playing multiple film festivals upcoming, so again, check out the website wewerethescenery.net or wewerethescenery_film on Instagram, and you can just make sure to check out when the film is playing. And we know that people aren't always physically there in the movie theater, but some of the festivals have online portions where you can watch it online. So yeah, there's all kinds of opportunities for people to engage in it. And for the 3-channel film, we don't have it currently playing. It did play at Metrograph in New York for a showing, but if anybody wants to program it in a museum or in a theater, we are happy to have it. Just reach out. The contact form is on the website, so you can always reach out. You can DM me. I am the Instagram, so feel free to reach out at any time.
Okay, I'm gonna put out the word. I'm in the DC area, Cathy,
Oh,
and so that
wonderful.
is. I think I'm gonna have to talk to all my fellow film festival heads over here. I would love to see
Yes,
that because now I'm
do.
intrigued
Please
to
do
because
come.
there's a longer form version. I
There
want to
it
see
is.
this. So
Yes,
everybody, all my people right now watching it, if you're
yes,
in your car right now
please.
listening to this,
We're
let's go.
program us anywhere you are. We will share it. Please come. And also, we do have a festival distributor, Traveling Distribution, so they are also very open to communicating to anybody who wants to program us.
Yes, let's make it happen, y'all. I'm looking at y'all, all my friends that are watching me right now doing this. Cathy, thank you for sharing all of that. And all of Cathy's links again are in the description. Let's make it happen, y'all, and support this film. So you did it. You're out here. You're spreading the word. Your first film. What is the energy now? Because you're an award-winning writer. You're killing it. Um, are you? Is the energy now that we're a filmmaker? Is it what lessons learned from this? Like, are we thinking about other things that we may do to also maybe shine
Yeah.
lights on that?
Yeah, so I mean, I am working on a nonfiction version of it. I have my poetry book, Becoming Ghosts, so that is out there. So I'm on book tour, I'm on film tour. That's coinciding, but I am working on nonfiction, kind of essays, memoir-ish work. And on top of that, we are working on a feature-length version of this film that is not a documentary, but a scripted feature.
Oh
So
wow.
we're in the early stages of working through that and feeling it out. But yeah, Chris and I, we're connecting and working together and trying to piece together that story.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you been getting any, have there been any buzz from anybody in Hollywood or that you can't, well, without getting in trouble that you can talk to? Or just, you don't have to mention any names, but has there been some positive buzz or energy?
There's been very positive energy.
Love
That's
it.
and if somebody has positive energy and they want to send that positive energy our way, we are also open to that. So just definitely excited, happy that people are doing, yeah, just we have, on the website, we have, the film festivals, we have nice quotes from people. We have we have been, programmed variously. So good energy, and we welcome more.
I love that. I'm gonna put all the energy into the air. I want a dream cast right now because now you have me thinking that
don't
that has to be so much fun.
I feel it coming.
I love that. I love you for doing this as just part of the AAPI community. We have to support our people sharing us these stories because again, if we don't make it happen ourselves, the people that are in charge will run run all of that, and we can't let that happen. We got to put our energy out there.
Yeah, I agree. We have opportunities to define our own stories.
Yes.
And to make them as complex as they really truly are. So just honest, complex stories that really center our own lives and voices.
Completely agree. Cathy, you're doing amazing work. Congratulations on this film. I can't wait to see where this is all going to take. I want to, again, like I said, have the full installation happen here in my area so I can support it. But please come back as you make this journey and with your books as well. I want to show love and light because I love what you're about, and seeing your focus and with everything you're doing is something that I'm very passionate about. So I really appreciate your time, Cathy.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you and your time and your support.
Definitely. Thank you, Cathy. Everybody, that is the amazing Cathy Linh Shea. Check out We Were the scenery everywhere. Again, links will be in the description so you can catch it. Please support it. Let's make it happen in our ears. If it's not, as Cathy said, she's ready and willing to make it happen. And you'll want to get the full version once you see it, because I'm now all about that. I'm going to talk to all my fellow DC area filmmakers. We got to bring it here. Why not? That is the amazing Cathy Linh Shea. I'm KUYA P. Nerds rule the world.
Right.
All right, Cathy, there's a
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Yeah. Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
yes,
You know
sir.
I'm one
Thank
of
you. Awesome. KUYA P. Nerds rule the world. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
Nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more Black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerds rule. Love it.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julian.
Yes,
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
absolutely.
And you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
We're just the best.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
so much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
It's your boy KUYA P. Nerds rule the world. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
do. They rule the world, all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys. Okay. We were the scenery. Cathy Linh Shea. Rock and roll. Let's have some fun. In a 1, 2, 3.